I don't know how much you enjoyed the first video that was shot. Very futuristic, very entertaining, and certainly very stimulating for the courses we're going to go for the next 3 days. So whoever put that together, congratulations, that wasn't from me. Most times everything is linked to the minister, but quite frankly, you need the minister. Some people are working and producing very good results and they need to be acknowledged. And I will ask Makanti Barrow next time when he sponsors us, we should make sure we don't let Shell and Total dominate performance. NMPC is also doing quite a lot, and I'd like to see their own video when next come. So put your hands together for all of you, and thank you. Excellencies, honorable CEOs, prime movers of the industry, attendees of the conference, distinguished Nigerians, whatever nomenclature or appellation that you fall into, welcome to this ceremony. Let me start by saying that I stand here in 3 capacities. I stand here to represent His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, who would have loved to be here and had planned to be here. But I'm sure if you're Nigerian and if you're following Nigerian politics, you understand why he can't be here. He's busy on the campaign trail, trying to begin the whole prepare himself for election. He then asked the Vice President to come in and represent him. And then I got a call from the Vice President that for the same reasons as the President gave me, he's unable to be here. And so I went back to the President and said, what do I do? You're not going to be here. The Vice President isn't going to be here. And he said, Emmanuel, can't you represent everybody? Represent me, represent the Vice President. What does it take? I said, well, it will require a bit of presidential ceding of power for the 1 hour or so that I will do this. He said, okay, take as much power as you have outside the doors. Outside the doors, I will have some security men, so that if you overstay your welcome, they will know what to do to you. So I am here representing His Excellency, the President and the Vice President, and bringing their goodwill messages to you. They are very enthused by the fact that the second NIPS conference is taking place, and all of you have shown up in this massive nature. We are very impressed with the results of the first one. And I'm looking forward to very many more of this. But more particularly for them is the fact that the theme of this particular conference is 1 Africa, it's 2 collaboration, and it's 3 futuristic. So like Simbi has said and Barrow has emphasized, the sheer fact of collaboration going around Africa is something that gives a lot of momentum to leaders of the African continent. In the last 1 or 2 days, in fact in the last 3 days, delegations from various African countries represented here by some of their ministers and some who have left were here to attend the Apple Extraordinary Meeting. And that meeting was dedicated to finalizing the prototypes of reforms that we're trying to bring into Apple. As you're probably aware, I assumed the presidency of Apple for a 2nd time last year through the collegiate decision of my brother ministers. And the whole idea was to take back Apple, reshape it, do the sort of thing we've tried to do in Nigeria, and bring it back to compete with such like organizations all over the world. And for that purpose, the Secretariat of Apple was then moved to Nigeria to work here with us for a year. This is why you have the Secretary General here, and help us to begin to create a new platform that will make Apple relevant to the needs of African producers. We'll finish that work. A lot of that work was done by my staff, not me. But we'll finish that work, and we're presenting over the last 3 days to delegations from Africa all the new changes that we want in Apple, inclusive of expanding the role of a particular financing body we're going to be calling the African Energy Investment Corporation. And the whole idea is quite frankly to mobilize between $1 to $2 billion of resources to begin, quite frankly, to fund within Africa all the essentials that are necessary for us to do proper collaboration. Today, most African countries are siloed. Everybody does their own thing, you do your own refinery, you do your own plants, you do your own gas turbines, everything is so siloed. But if we could just cross the Rubicon and be able to extend hands-off infrastructural relationships across Africa, build joint pipelines, like Dr. Barrow said, build joint plants, build joint refineries, begin to protect the African market, we would have taken a huge step, not only to the development of Africa, but to the stabilization of independent African countries. And that is the whole idea of what Apple was doing over the last 3 days. I'm glad to say that we finished that meeting yesterday and signed on to resolutions that endorse all the changes that we have suggested. And so we're now going to move on to the implementation stage. So that's moving into today's theme, which is collaboration, Africa, and the whole futuristic model, shows that everything really is beginning to finally come together. And we really do not have much of an option. As we talk oil today, people have mentioned our reserves, people have mentioned our capacity, the potential for 74% growth over the next 30 to 35 years in Africa in terms of production. But on the challenge side, certain things jump out. First of all, shale jumps out, oil prices jumps out, investment limitations jump out, President Trump jumps out, and so many other things. And then you look at the opportunity side, so much going on. Egina, Train 7, Shell is getting itself ready for Bonga Phase 2. Ajik is working very hard in terms of Zabadaba, and that's Nigeria. But all over Africa, discoveries are bound, and suddenly you find that with opportunities are also coming huge challenges related to environment. You no longer can produce oil the way we did it before. People have got to take responsibility for the environmental impact of what they do. Post-community challenges are becoming not just vociferous, but militant in nature. So you've got to begin to listen to areas where those resources abide. Now, the ease with which you find resources in terms of financing is getting tighter, because suddenly oil majors and investors are awash with opportunities all over the world. Even in Africa, the emerging economies that are finding oil by the day is facing major challenges for countries like Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, Angola, who have historically been the dominant type countries in some of these areas. So unless you get your policies right, unless you get your marketplace right, unless you get your collaborative mechanisms right, unless you get your infrastructure right, you're going to face a huge amount of challenge in the competition for scarce resource and scarce capital. But Nigerians have done well. And one of the reasons why I thought 2 years ago there was a need to begin to celebrate what we're doing, show our technological discoveries, and bring everybody together to Nigeria to see how much we've come of age. That some of the best, when I worked for mobile, we used to have this difficulties in terms of when people are seeking for posting. They want to go to different parts of the world to get experience. And I remember one managing director who called everybody and said, look, the reality is that all the experience you need abroad are sitting here. Our biggest projects are sitting in Nigeria. Our biggest investments are here. There's absolutely no reason why you should be going out. There's no reason why you should be staying in, and we should be sending people back in here to come learn the field. That's the reality. Today, independent producers are doing over 12% of our contribution to our national production. I'd like to see that figure grow to over 30%, which means that we need to create models that encourage them to invest their money, seek resources, and seek financing. Skill set is unbelievable. Over 90% of most of the oil majors are Nigerians, 90% of their employees, which means that some of the best skill sets are here. One of the things that I found, for example, going to NNPC in 2015, is that every detail of capability that you need to run a global company starts in NNPC. They were very well trained, very well exposed. You had issues in terms of policies, but in terms of skill sets, solid. And if you look at the tons of Nigerians who have left the oil industry over the last 20 years and retirements, you have so much capability in terms of manpower resource, and we need to begin to harness all this. So we're better to begin to show skills than here. And we're hoping that with this collaborative spirit that we're beginning to do, we'll be able to export some of those to Africa, sit down with our brothers who are coming to oil production for the first time, get some of our local participants and investors to begin to get into those forests and take opportunities of what their blocks offer. So Africa, the time has come. The time can never be better. The realities are dawned on us because, quite frankly, very soon, unless we protect our border posts, like many countries are doing, unless we begin to look more to the continent, unless we begin to look more to financing that we can find locally, unless we begin to look for African financial entities to help us develop the key infrastructure that we need in this sector, we would have lost a huge opportunity. And then technology, of course, is attacking us at a very fast pace. Like people keep saying, at the rates electric cars are moving in, at the rates solar power is moving in, if we do not move very quickly, we will be bundled with a huge amount of growing resource, which even when exploited will be worthless. Look at the price of oil over the last 5 years and the performances. Look at the projections over the next 3 years. something urgent needs to be done for Africa, and we cannot do it independently alone. We need to collaborate with ourselves. So as I declare open on behalf of His Excellency the President this summit that is going to take place for the next 3 days, this conference, I challenge all of you to think outside the box. Think Africa, think collaboration, think the future.